Alright guys, just San here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and in today's video we're going to be doing the team building guide for the EZA event for LR Cell. We did do one on the Gohan yesterday, so if you want to watch that, I'll leave a link to it on the screen. And these guys' EZAs is dropping tonight, so we do have that to look forward to on Global, and I'm really excited we're getting it on Global tonight. I mean, of course, it is like a month late. Technically, we should have just gotten it at the same time as JP, but at least we're getting it now and not in like, June, July, so that definitely is good. But yeah, before we get into the video, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. I will put timestamps in the video to when we're talking about the leaders, and then to when we're talking about just general units to bring. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So as you can see right here, the weakness is Kamehameha. Definitely a very good category. I think this is going to be a lot easier than the Gohans. I mean, Kamehameha is one of the best categories in the game. And just briefly looking at the rewards, similar to the Gohans, you get the EZA medals, of course, for the Cell. You get the orbs for the Cell, so a bunch of intelligence orbs. You get 5 Elder Kais, or 5 Kais for the Int type, and then you do get Zenny from stage 11 and so on. So definitely, I mean, good rewards is worth doing, especially if you have the Cell, because then you can get him easy aid. But, alright, just getting into the Kamehameha category. So, I mean, yeah, a big category. It has seen a ton of buffs recently, so definitely there is a lot of options on here. And I do want to say this at the beginning of the video, because I'm not going to mention this, is like sub-teams. Like, I'm talking about maybe if you want to bring like Super Saiyan 4 Goku as a lead and do a Goku family team, you could do a lot of those because there's a lot of good leads. I mean, you could run a powerful comeback team, you could run a Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Movie Heroes team, a Time Limit team, a Final Trump Card team, a Pure Saiyans Hybrid Saiyans team. There's just so much you could do. I mean, you got the Carnival LR Goku, you could do a Battle of Wits team because there's a lot of Vegetos on here, so definitely a lot of potential in terms of like sub teams. But for the video, I'll just be talking about like leads for like Kamehameha and stuff like that. So just getting into the best lead, I think, for this EZA event, we actually have the Gohan. Now, I guess what you could do is EZA the Gohan first and then just run him as the lead for this EZA event. And then when you do that, this guy's going to be very good. Of course, he is at least top 10 units in the game right now. I mean, with the 8th year anniversary, I think everything's kind of in limbo as to where units exactly are in terms of a tier list. But I would say this guy definitely is in the top 10. And he is very good. I mean, he's worthy of being in the top 10. He does stack defense, so just throughout the fight, he's going to get better and better. He does build up as well through every turn. So again, throughout the fight, he's just going to get better and better. This guy does have guard if your HP is above 58% HP, which is definitely very good. And then, of course, if you are facing an android's enemy, which, yeah, you are. So then you can get this busted active skill. And when I say busted, I mean crazy. If you haven't seen any showcases on this guy, EZ8 or anything, I've got my showcase on this guy. You know, Truth probably is doing a Coming to Global showcase on him. So you should definitely check one of those out because this guy is very good when transformed, and he will absolutely destroy this event even though he's type neutral. But, alright, yeah, moving on to the next option, we've got the physical Goten and Trunks. Now, these guys aren't an LR, so they're not going to be hitting as hard as some other units. However, they do have type advantage. And of course, they do lead Kamehameha for HP and attack plus 170% and then defense plus 130%. So the defense plus 130% is kind of unfortunate, but still they're a 170% lead. So that is very good. And they'll be able to perform fine in this EZA. They're not necessarily good, and they have aged out a lot since their release. But, I mean, they're not bad either. And because they have type advantage, like I said, I feel like they will perform very well. So definitely a good option here for a lead. And then next, we do have the Tech Goku and Gohan. Now, these guys do lead Kamehameha and Goku family for 4 ki and then 150% attack and defense. But one thing with these guys is they do have type disadvantage. So I think that might be a little bit of a kind of a negative on why you wouldn't want to bring them. But if you have to run them as a lead, you definitely could make it work. And if you just have to run them in general, you could make it work because these guys do have built-in crits. As you can see right here, they get a 5% chance to crit per key sphere obtained. So even though they have type disadvantage, if you get a lot of key spheres, you get the crit chance, you'll start critting, and then your damage definitely will be up there. So these guys are a good option, and they do crit on their active skill as well. Forgot to mention that. So, yeah, you should consider bringing them if you don't have any options or anything like that. But if you've got some other physical LRs, which there's a lot of them on this category, then, maybe you'll want to bring them instead of this guy. But moving on, we have the physical LR Gohan. Now, memes aside, this guy is very good. I mean, he's not as good as he could have been, but he is still very good. I mean, he's going to be doing so much damage in this event. It's not even funny. This guy does so much damage as it is, as long as you get lucky with ki. So, you know, as long as you bring some, I guess, Rainbow Orb Changers or something like that, this guy could go crazy. Or if you just get lucky with Ki, I guess that too. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about him for too long. He does so much damage. His active skill is going to hit insanely hard in here. You know, he's got type advantage. And he's an LR, so it just works out in his favor in this event. And then next, we do have the physical LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. Now, these guys, of course, are still very, very good. I mean, they are obviously a little over a year old now on JP, but I wouldn't say they've aged at all. They are still very, very good and are going to perform very well in this event because they do stack as well, and they have a lot of crits built in, and then, of course, they get the guaranteed additionals and then super effective against all types, which, I mean, they have type advantage anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And you're not going to be struggling with Ki with them because they get a ton of Ki in their kit, and then, you know, you transform with them, and it's just over. They're going to be doing a lot of damage, and between the damage reduction and the super attack counters and all that, they're not really going to be taking any damage either. So definitely a good option here if you have them, and I'm assuming a lot of you do because, of course, a lot of you probably summon on the 7th year anniversary banners. Alright, but next, we have the physical LR Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. Now, these guys I know a lot of you probably have because they've been featured on so many banners, and of course, if you don't have them Easy Aid, that you kind of have to have them Easy Aid for them to be good. I mean, I guess before they're Easy Aid, they could be somewhat useful in this event, but if you have them Easy Aid, they are definitely going to be doing a lot of damage. You have the Fusion as well, which you can get, which is a heal. Actually, I think it is a full heal. Yeah, you fully recover HP, and then, you know, they're just going to be going crazy for, like, the first 3 turns after that, because then, of course, they have the chance to dodge, they get the crits off, and all that, to where they're just going to be doing a ton of damage. So definitely a good option here that a lot of you probably have, and if you do have them, you should for sure consider bringing them on the team, just because how good they are. And, yeah, alright, so moving on to some free-to-play options. We've got the Version Z Goku. Now, this guy is going to be very good in this event, not only because he's physical, but because he does actually support. So he's going to be making everyone look very good. And we are also facing an extreme class enemy. So you're going to be doing a little bit of extra damage. And also you're going to get a little bit of extra Ki. So just overall, this does work out for him very well. And then, of course, he does have the active skill, which is extremely easy to get. I mean, it's the 5th turn. And maybe in like stage like 7, 8, and 9, and 10, you'll most likely be going to turn 5. And you'll be able to pop this and probably deliver the finishing blow. So definitely a really good unit to consider bringing, especially because he's free to play. So as long as you have him grinded up, just throw him on the team. He'll be supporting everyone, making everyone look a lot better, and he'll also be putting in a lot of work himself. Now moving on to another free to play option, we have LR Roshi. Now even though this guy is, I don't know, he's like, what, 2 years old at this point? Yeah, 2 years old because we're in the 8th year anniversary. He still slays, man. I mean, this guy's going to be very good. He is still arguably one of the best free-to-play LRs, or at least in, like, the top 5. But, yeah, he's going to be very good in this event. He has the Revive. He's supporting Turtle School category allies for 3 Ki and 40% attack and defense. And I'll let you in on a little tip. You know, it's Kamehameha, the category, so most of these units are on Turtle School. So this guy is going to be supporting most of the units on this category. So, you know, obviously that's very good because he's benefiting other people. And then, like I said, he does have the Revive, which is fairly easy to get. You just need Turtle School category allies. And as I just said, you're going to be running a lot of those allies on the team because, of course, a lot of units on Kamehameha are also on Turtle School. And then as long as you get his 18 Ki, he's going to be doing a lot of damage and just performing really well in this event. So yeah, I mean, that pretty much is the video. Again, I'm not going to go into like sub-teams because there's a bunch of options. That just really depends on who you have in your box. But there are a lot of good units on here. Just bring a lot of physical LRs. If you don't have a lot of physical LRs, just bring a lot of LRs on here. And then I guess if you don't have a lot of LRs on here, just try and bring some physical TURs. Because even like this GT Super Saiyan Goku, he'll definitely be able to put in some work. Because this guy is Rainbow Orb changing, and he's going to be doing a ton of damage just because he's a very high damaging unit. You're not really going to have his full passive activated because you do have to bring GT Heroes category allies. And I mean, I mentioned a couple of GT Heroes units to bring on the team. But majority of your team shouldn't really be GT Heroes, just because obviously that's kind of a more limited category, so there's not as many of those on Kamehameha. But even without the GT Heroes, his damage is still going to be the same, and the Rainbow Orb changing is going to make other people look better, and it's going to even make like this physical LR Beast Gohan look better. So yeah, just a lot of options to bring on here. I don't think any of you guys are going to struggle with this whatsoever, but let me know what team you're going to bring in the comments below, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.